Ipswich Town 1, Southampton 1. We do have a fan reaction coming out, which will feature various different ITFC fans as they leave Portman Road. Keep your eyes and ears peeled for that one. I don't know if I can see a live chat. Never actually done a live YouTube show directly through the YouTube platform. Anyway, here are my thoughts following today's game against Southampton. I thought for the first half, we actually started, I think we started fairly well. Southampton grew back into the game, but I thought our press was particularly a real asset to us in the first half. And it showed it with the goal. Our press was on point. Schmodik's presses. It's a loose pass. Hurst picks it up, plays it back. Jack Clark in the right place at the right time. He doesn't actually get the goal or get credited with the goal, I believe. Let me know in the comments if that is incorrect. It goes down as an own goal. But you've got to be in the right place at the right time, is where I'm at with it. And Jack Clark had a funny game for me today. It was, I have to be honest, I was a little bit frustrated watching him directly in front of me at the cobblestone in the second half. Just a few instances where they weren't on the same page, him and Johnson. One instance particularly jumps out to me where Clark points to where he wants it. Johnson plays a lovely pass into him, but Jack Clark hasn't moved. After pointing to where he wants to go, he hasn't moved. Just a few things where they weren't quite on the same page, but I think that'll come. You know, and you could argue they should be on the same page, having been here last season together. But you know, we won't go. You know, we won't argue that for the time being. What we'll say is that will grow as the season develops and the season goes on. I thought Jaden Philogene was really good today, and I really liked the game plan in terms of trying to get him in behind. And I really felt there was a few times there where a slightly quicker pass could have released Jaden Philogene, and I was really happy with what he contributed to the side today. George Hurst run himself into the ground, but then when, oh, I've got a shout, hello. Andrew says Clark touched it. STSD did better today. Not losing in either of those games and not playing particularly well is hopefully a good thing. Nathan felt Jack didn't move the ball quick and wasn't as sharp as the other players on the team. Oscar says, okay, sorry, Oscar. If you don't agree with that, that's fine. Whatever you're not agreeing with, you're well entitled to not agree with it. I thought Matasiwa, for me, and you'll see it on the fan reaction, I thought for me he was man of the match. I really felt, particularly in the second half, he grabbed hold of that game. Really grabbed hold of that game and was the best midfield player on the pitch today. In a game that featured, obviously, Jens Kajus. I know he's not had a pre-season. In a game that featured Flynn Downs, that, you know, almost, I wouldn't say splits the fan base, but a lot of Town fans, and I'm one of them, would absolutely love to have Flynn Downs back in the 11. I thought Matasiwa was the best midfield player on the park in that second half, particularly. It was everywhere. His positioning is absolutely second to none. Brilliant positioning, good on the ball, nice control. I'm really impressed with what I've seen from Matasiwa so far. Let us know your thoughts on him in particular. Nice to see Jens Kajus come on and get some minutes. Cam Humphreys got some minutes in the end. George Hurst, as I was saying, run himself into the ground. When doesn't George Hurst run himself into the ground? And I really felt, actually, that highlighted the lack of depth in the squad. Not that it needed highlighting, but how many times have you seen George Hurst complete a 90 minutes in a Town shirt? Not many. You could probably count those on one hand. Playing 90 minutes is not really what McKenna does with his strikers, but here he was, because there's nobody in behind him at the moment. So obviously we've got Akpom, who's now here. You could argue you need another striker. I think last year, wasn't there like a conversation in terms of having only one centre half on the bench and what having two brings, or what, you know, I really felt like last year there was a conversation between why there wasn't two centre halves on the bench more often. But this today, again, two centre halves, for me, highlighting perhaps the lack of depth in some of those attacking areas. Craig at Winchester, nice to see you, Craig. Sorry we couldn't stop and say hello. Craig was at the statue this afternoon. Nice to see you, Craig. Best performance so far. Villaging got involved a lot. Humphreys, 2 challenges and twice brushed off the ball easily. He only came on for like, what, 5 minutes, 10 minutes in the end? David, the team will improve as the season progresses. Just keep the faith and support the team through thick and thin. Nightbot, our YouTube, well, I say YouTube, the channel's bot, is getting involved in something. Sorry, Woody Wood, don't worry about that. I will adjust the settings in time. I want to talk actually about improving in the season, because if we think about how we came into the game in terms of our mindset, and I don't mean the squad, I mean fans particularly here, with Amari leaving, Broadhead leaving, only having really 2 midfield players that you've brought in that are new. You've got Jack Taylor and Cam Humphreys, but I think most people wanted 3 or 4. I certainly wanted 3 or 4, and I don't think that's changed particularly for me. Although Jack Taylor, I thought, had a really good game out there today. And then, of course, you look at the attacking options. You got lack of depth, and we come into this game particularly, I think, feeling that we're not quite prepared, or not quite the finished article in where we're going to get to in terms of a team. Whereas Southampton came into it today, and I think I speak for myself here. I can't speak for anybody else. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. That they were further along than us. And they were more together as a team in terms of the players they brought in. Yes, they may lose a few, but they were further along in the preparation journey. But we absolutely matched and bettered them in big portions of that game today. So if that's us, let's say in second gear, third gear, where we quite haven't got all the players into the squad that we want, just imagine what this team, this squad, this group will be when you've got those players in. It's really, you should take a lot of excitement away from that as a fan, I feel, this afternoon, because that is not the finished Ipswich Town squad. That isn't the finished article. But we absolutely, for me anyway, second half, bossed that game. Bossed it. And you take a point. They had their chances. I'm not saying they had their chances. I'm not saying it was one-way traffic. But for me, I felt like if it was going to go one way, it was going to go to a 2-1 home win. And that's really encouraging, I think, particularly when you consider the squad and where we are in terms of transfers, and where I felt Southampton were coming in terms of their transfers and their squad. Eric says, even if we had 3 strikers, McKenna will always play one at a time. We need a goal-scoring midfield player and a winger. NA, decent point today, but Greaves didn't look great again. Silly play for their goal. Why did we let Burgess go? I haven't seen it back, but I actually think Alex Palmer should probably do a little bit better with the goal. He should A, for me, be coming for the cross. Having decided to stay at home, I do think he needs to save it. I haven't seen it back. I may correct my opinion on tomorrow night's talk in town, but live viewing from my seat in the cobbled stand, I want my goalkeeper doing better in one of those 2 instances, if they're coming for the cross or making the save. Jonathan says, did any keeper make a save? Yeah, well, that's a good question, actually. You've stumped me. You've stumped me. Anyway, look, we're live. I'm going to try and do... well, I'm trying some things this season, so you're going to get a fan reaction coming out on the channel very shortly. I'm just going to sit here and edit that together now for you, so it's a bit more palatable in terms of there's not like interruptions. But this is my reaction. Let me know your comments, let me know your thoughts. Hit the subscribe button, like button, all of that jazz. But until tomorrow, 8 p.m, we're a more in-depth reaction. Keep your eyes out for the fan reaction, but take care. I don't know how I end this live show. I really do not. I'm just going to press this button. Yes, it says, are you sure you want to stop streaming? Yes, I am sure. Take care. All the best.